Hello and welcome to the Comic Book Communicast, the official podcast of the Google Plus comic book community. This is issue number 53 for the week of January 11th, 2015. I'm Justin Beeson and I'm joined by co-host Paul Christopher.
I'm back!
Woo! And Sarah Evans.
Hi.
We're finally back. It's 2015. It's time to get started again, and we're almost full force. We'll see if we can track down Aaron eventually. And so, with this new year, we're gonna kind of switch it up a little bit. We did Wednesday reviews at right off the bat, and it's a little hard for everybody. So we're gonna switch over to kind of a this week's in comics type thing, and we'll be reviewing more pick of the week style, and then we'll also be adding TV reviews and stuff into the show as well. So let's see how we do, and we'll get right into it. So normally this would be our pick of the week section, but Paul, why didn't you do your homework?
Okay, so here's the thing, gang. As you know, if you saw my the anniversary episode, there's a new addition to the family, and my time has become much more limited. And quite frankly, the comics this week slipped my mind. So I'm really sorry. But I can tell you, just by looking at the ones that came out this week, for me, in my pull box, that the Fade Out, Ed Brubaker's new title, would have been the top of my list. Because that's my, on this week, that's the first one I go to. With Trees a close second.
And this is the last issue of Trees, right?
Is it? I don't know. I didn't realize it was a limited series.
So.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
As far as I know, or maybe it's like the end of the first arc, whatever.
Maybe.
I know that this was the issue I was going to wait to read it all.
Okay. Well, I'll find out.
All right.
I promise, though,
So,
next weekend I will have my comic books read.
All right. Sarah, what was your pick this week? Oh, no.
All right.
Well, we'll go back to her. So I'll go to my pick. So my pick, I actually didn't get a chance to read all of my comics this week because I've been sick and dealing with some stuff. So I made it to the comic store today. But out of the ones I read, my pick so far is Ody-C #2. Now this is the new series from Matt Fraction and Christian Ward, where basically they're taking the Ody-C and retelling it in space with all women, and it is a trip. The first issue had
I see what you did there. The Ody-C is a trip. Yeah. Okay. Very clever.
It's like gigantic 16-page fold-out thing, and this continues to be crazy. It's it's Matt Fraction kind of flexing his epic storytelling muscles, which he hasn't done in a while. A lot of the stuff he's been doing lately has been lighthearted and humorous, and this is very methodical, and it's really good. And the artwork, every page is just like an abstract painting, and they're going full crazy with this, and but it's the good crazy. So I definitely recommend picking this up. This issue kind of goes into Zeus telling her kind of origin story and why she obliterated all men from the universe, and obviously to counteract the prophecy of one of her offspring overtaking her, and then kind of goes into Prometheus, who's called Promethean in this, and how she got hopped up on lotus flowers and then created a new species, basically called Sebex, which is kind of asexual, or not asexual, but can, whatever it is, where they can create more of themselves. And that's the version of the Prometheus thing, where because Prometheus helped out the humans and in some myths created the humans, and so that's version of that. Really crazy, really cool. Definitely recommend picking up.
You've got me sold.
Oh yeah, it's trippy. It's worth it for fun too.
Like we have Sarah back.
Sarah. All right, Sarah, you back on?
Yeah, hi. I'm sorry. My connection is literally terrible. Yeah, for
All
now
right.
at least.
So Sarah, what was your pick this week?
My pick this week was the unbeatable Squirrel Girl #1, which was actually completely amazing, and I'm really happy that it exists. The art was adorable. It was a little slapdash, more cartoonish instead of refined comic book style. The facial expressions are hilarious. The art is awesome. It shows great motion. The colors are adorable. I think that what they're doing is basically a more effective way that they're trying to revamp the Batgirl series with Barbara Gordon to appeal to a younger generation, because they're not taking themselves incredibly seriously with it, and also they're not doing terrible transphobic things like that one issue. But essentially, the concept is that Squirrel Girl is moving out of the attic of Avengers Mansion, where continuity in this issue says she's been camping out for an undisclosed amount of time, and actually going to college. I have no idea on what finances this is being supported, but I guess the concept is she'll be in student loan debt like everyone else. And it's just awesome. The conversations with her squirrel, the way she talks to herself, it's just, I mean, her voice is awesome. I've read nothing of this character before. All I know is, oh yeah, it's this kind of like silly superhero that defeated a bunch of badasses way back a few decades ago, and some people on the internet hate her for existing. I have no idea why. But I really enjoyed this issue. It was funny. She fights Craven. Craven is about as hilarious as she is. It's just completely great. And I think the college setting will definitely appeal to more readers, especially casual readers, and kind of help draw them into the Marvel universe.
Yeah, cool. I actually picked this up too because it's Ryan North writing, who up until uh, I guess this month wrote Adventure Time and does Dinosaur Comics and did the Midas Flesh and one of my favorite writers. So yeah, a lot of fun. The Ryan North voice is there, as well as the little jokes on the bottom of the page. Um, really good read. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing her take on Galactus next issue.
Oh my gosh, yes. It's going to be amazing. I want her to take down a complete Marvel untouchable villain in every single issue. Like one of these guys that's been around forever. They've maybe like died once or twice, but they always come back because you can't get rid of them because they're such a huge name. They're this terrible villain and this dire foe, and no one can really get on top of them for very long. I just want her to like systematically like kick one of their butts every single issue. I think that would be hilarious.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so those were our picks of the week. Besides Paul, who will have one next week.
I promise. Sorry.
So, Paul, what other issues are you looking forward to reading this week?
Let's see. I got the new Batman Eternal. I'm wondering how long it's going to take them to catch up to where they were in that preview, because we're still not there yet.
Yeah, I guess not.
Detective Comics, and then Trees. So I'm anxious to find out if that was the last issue or not. I was not expecting it to end so soon. And that's it. It was a very, very brief week for me.
Cool. Sarah, did you pick up anything else this week?
I need to go to the comic store. I've been on holiday leave for a few weeks, so I haven't been here to get comics, but one I should have gotten and one I'm contemplating looking up tonight is Actually, okay, so don't laugh because the first one I did was Squirrel Girl, and I'm not gaining any more credibility with serious comics reporting with this one. But I'm going to get Betty and Veronica number 274 because this is actually something that I've been waiting for since Baltimore Comic Con. Because on the Archie's panels, they basically. I wish. What I would like to see if they already did an entire 2 alternate universes, like Archie marries Betty and Archie marries Veronica. Can we not have a 3rd alternate universe? It's Betty marries Veronica. I think that would be amazing. But essentially, I mean, it sounds as someone who looks for this kind of thing in the comics I read, it sounds super shippy to me, like as a reader. But what they were discussing on this panel is the story arc that's about to take place, starting with this one. And it's going to go on for a while. Essentially, Betty and Veronica are leaving Riverdale, is the concept, and they're going to go study abroad and see some of the world outside of the context that their little story arcs are always staged in. And I've noticed Archie's comics are getting more and more experimental. Over the years, it seems it's been kind of progressing. Like they've done random issues here and there over the past few years dealing with this social issue that's going on or that social issue. There was an Occupy Riverdale issue when the Occupy Wall Street movement was going on. With the Afterlife with Archie, they've started to move into different genres that can be explored with this universe. It's kind of, it seems to me that they're playing around with the characters and the limited setting that they have, a little bit like fanfic writers, because they're taking it with like different ideas that they have about different ways the stories could be told. And with this one, Betty and Veronica are leaving Riverdale for study abroad, and actually 2 exchange students are coming to Riverdale that we're going to get some more characters of color in the book, which is always good. And apparently it's going to kind of shake the Archie's comics world and the setting in which the stories are told as the other characters experience it, according to the guys on the panel. So I'm definitely going to be picking this up. And I'm sorry for talking about that in a little more depth, because I know we're supposed to be brief with the comics of the week thing, but it's the only one I've got, so give me some leeway on that one.
I did want to ask you, as a first-time Comixology reader, how your experience was there.
Confusing,
with
but
Squirrel Girl.
It may have been confusing given the amount of time that I had to work with, because by the time we got it up and running and I was settled and ready to read the thing, and I was trying to get it out of the way really quickly. I'm sorry, confession, come to Jesus moment. I was a little frustrated at first because I couldn't figure out how to get the pages to move, because, I mean, it shows you the arrows on the sides of, like, the entire page, and I was like, oh, okay, so do I have to squint really hard to read all of this? Do I fumble with the zoom button? This seems really inaccessible. And then after a minute or two, Michelle was able to figure out how, because she had learned already that it wasn't working for a second, how to get the individual panels to scroll. And I actually really like that, and I like the way that if there's a panel that's longer or something, they'll show it to you in segments, and when it moves, I just really enjoy that, because it seems like it's adding action to to the panel and giving it like an extra dimension of the reading experience, and I actually really enjoyed it.
That's cool. Yeah, Paul, like when you read on your Comixology, do you do the panel view, or do you read whole pages?
I do the whole page. It's weird. I'm like this like middle ground. Like, so like I'm all about the digital, but I'm also a purist. Like, I don't want them doing the weird panel things. I want to just like the whole comic laid out the way God intended. You know, but I understand the appeal of doing like the guided view is what they call it. Yeah, I certainly understand that. So yeah, to each their own.
Cool. So for this week, I had a pretty large week, and I haven't got to all of them. New Action Comics is out, which the storyline is probably one of the weaker ones since Greg Pak took over, but I'm still looking forward to reading it. Ant-Man #1, which Nick Spencer, which is pretty good. I'd recommend getting that. Batman Eternal, Bucky Barnes, The Fade Out. Feathers #1, which is a new kind of all-ages comic from Boom. It was pretty good, and I think it'd be a pretty fun comic for younger readers. Hellboy and the BPRD, Ninth Generation, which is the new comic that takes place after Aphrodite 9. Always good to see. Paul, did we ever figure out how to say his name?
Uh,
Stepjon
I'm
Sedgwick?
gonna, I'm gonna, yeah, no. I tweeted and asked him, and I never got a response. So I'm gonna go with Stefan. That's what I'm
All
gonna
right.
go with.
Well, anyways, anything with art by him is great. Men of Wrath, Miracle Man, um, Odyssey, which I already talked about, and Squirrel Girl, which we talked about. So those were my comics for the week, and so in future weeks we'll have, hopefully we'll have more of our comics read, and we'll give you simple recommendations. Read, skip, wait a few issues. So let's get into news and TV. So this segment, we go over news in the past. We're going to start incorporating TV episodes and stuff into it if we so feel like. Paul, so anything jump out at you this week?
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm glad that we're bringing TV into this because, like, it's like the golden age of comic books on television. I mean, we've got The Walking Dead, we've got Gotham, we've got Constantine, we've got The Flash, we've got Arrow, we've got Agents of Shield, we've got Agent Carter, we've got iZombie. I mean, we're just spoiled for comics, and that's just the live action stuff. I'm not even messing with the cartoons. Um, I am catching up on The Walking Dead and haven't caught up on that one. I watched Agent Carter. I watched the premiere of that, and I got to tell you, I was a little disappointed. Um, um, what is her name? The actress that plays Peggy.
Haley Atwell?
Thank you. She's fantastic. She's absolutely fantastic. I have no complaints with her. I really like the way that they do her action because a lot of times when you see women in action films, like it's not as hard hitting and it doesn't move as fast as like when men do an action scene. I don't know how to explain it, but it just seems softer, and that was not the case with this. They really did a good job with her. You can tell like this one's not getting quite as much money as like Agents of Shield is. Like they're just I don't know. There's something about it that just seems like a little bit cheaper, but overall, I'm enjoying it. And plus, Agents of Shield took a while. It took till the middle of its first season to really get its footing, and it's only the second season where it's like really good. So I'm willing to wait it out and see it. It's certainly not terrible. I would definitely give it like maybe like a B minus, C plus, or something like that. I'm definitely going to follow this all the way through, see how they get. I mean, it's only like the first two episodes, so.
Sarah, did you have a chance to watch this?
To watch the
Agent
Peggy
Carter.
Carter series. Who's Agent? I know. I know that's not the name of the series. I could not come up with it off the top of my head. No, I haven't had a chance to sit down and watch it yet. I've heard mixed reviews about it, but I'm definitely gonna give it a try. It's on Hulu, right?
Yeah, should be, because I think
Probably,
ABC
yeah.
shows are on Hulu.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, should be on there.
Oh, okay.
So I
One of the
got
things, sorry, real quick about the
Okay.
Agent Carters that really stuck out with me is the fact that they're very much about like girl power, and not in this weird like, hey, look, everybody, she's a girl and she can do everything that a man can do and all this stuff, but like really about like women sticking together and sticking up for each other and like female cohesion, like with the way she's dealing with her roommate and then her friend at the diner
Mhm.
and things like that. That's what I really like to see. Is because right now in TV and the media, there's too much of competition amongst women and women tearing each other down. So it's really good to see a show where it focuses on the women backing each other up and helping each other out, and that's what really stood out for me with the first two episodes.
Mhm.
well, yeah, I have the
Definitely.
pilots of the first half of this premiere, and I was getting a real like it reminded me a lot of Velvet, you know, female super spy, and kind
Exactly.
of breaking and they're playing with the super spy tropes and everything, and the 50s women tropes, and the part that stood out liked is the actor who plays Agent Sousa, I think, but his name's Enver something. He was played Victor on Dollhouse, and I haven't seen him in anything in a while, and so it's fun to see him in a show again. But yeah, I'm looking forward to watching the rest of this series, and it should be fun. So, Sarah, were there any stories, comic-related stories that jumped out at you this week?
Not so much. I know Paul mentioned briefly that you can't really swing a cat these days without hitting another uh, excellent so far. Most of them have been at least on the level comic TV series. I know it was just announced in the last day or so we're getting an animated Vixen series that's going to be or it's going to have a spot on the CW, and it's going to be a crossover with The Flash and Arrow, although it's an animated series, and both of those characters are going to be animated in the style of their TV show incarnations. So I think that's really interesting, and I'm so great that this is a superhero that's getting recognized, because Vixen's been amazing. I first read her in Birds of Prey like years ago as she was like a, I don't know, guest hero of the week cameo, and I thought she was great. And it's been hard to find stuff with her in it these days. So I think it's amazing and completely random, but completely amazing that she's getting a series.
And that's really interesting that they're going to have an animated series that's still within the DC television universe.
Right?
And speaking of the DC television universe, something that's also really interesting is that I was reading that the new Supergirl series is also going to be in the same universe as The Flash and Arrow, despite not being on the same network. So that's pretty cool. Now they
Yeah.
can just rope in Constantine, everybody be happy.
Oh, I hope not. I mean, what?
Well,
What? No, what? Never mind.
I think all of those are going to the same universe, technically. So, which is especially that's really interesting that that they haven't aiding Marvel to that part at least.
Mm-hmm.
So my story of the week is going to be happened because there were a crazy announcements from getting new stuff from Brian K. Vaughan, Scott Snyder. My personal book that I'm going to be looking forward to, and I haven't read anything about it. I just looked at the creators, and I will be buying this for sure. And it's called Paper Girls, from Brian K. Vaughan and Cliff Chang, who is the artist on Wonder Woman up until the soft relaunch. So, like I said, I have no clue, because at this a preview issue that you can get on Comixology that has snippets of all of it. So I'll probably end up checking that out. Sarah, I know you mentioned something. You saw one that you thought looked interesting.
Mm-hmm. Monstrous looked pretty good. I saw the concept, and it immediately reminded me of Pacific Rim, with their scientist character who's able to drift with a kaiju brain, only in comics form and with a young woman. Because I believe the concept, as they described it, was that they're colossal monsters scattered around, and this girl is able to actually connect with them on some kind of mental or empathic level. So I think that's going to be really interesting to see.
Cool. How about you, Paul?
Yeah, I was just actually reading about that, this whole big new crop on io9.com, and uh, the thing that stood out was the fact that Brian K. Vaughan seems to be writing all the comics this this year. I didn't see any that immediately appealed to me, but I'll wait and see what you guys have to say.
Yeah. So some of the other ones, Scott Snyder and Jeff Lemire are doing a series called After Death, which if those two are doing a series, that's going to be pretty great.
Yeah.
Um, Looks like there's going to be a new phonogram, which or a new volume of phonogram, which I never read that, but I know a lot of people are excited about that. There's a new comic from Chip Zdarsky where he's going to be writing it called Kaptara, and it's a sci-fi epic. This is one's going to be exciting. There's a new creator owned by Darwin Cook, who has never done creator owned comic. And then I Hate Fairyland by Scotty Young, which so apparently I guess he's not going to be drawing Rocket Raccoon anymore. He's just going to be writing, which is fine because it's still pretty funny. But he's doing this thing called I Hate Fairyland, which is about a little girl who's been, or she's not little, she's an adult woman, but stuck in a little girl body and stuck in this fairy tale land for years and years and years, and how she's come to resent it, and basically what it's like being her in this land, which sounds pretty interesting. I think those were the pretty much the standouts. So yeah, we got a firm release date for Daredevil, which is March 10th.
Yep.
Are you guys
Excited
gonna?
about that.
Well, I know Paul will be watching that. Sarah, how about you? Does the Netflix series interest you at all?
I'm going to be watching all of the Marvel released Netflix series because they just sound so good. And if there's a chance that the Daredevil one could cross over into the Luke Cage or Jessica Jones or Iron Fist ones, which, let's face it probably will,
No,
especially
they
if Marvel's
absolutely
trying
will.
to get on DC's TV level at this point. Yeah, no, definitely. Then yeah, I'll be watching it, even though Daredevil doesn't particularly interest me, and I think everyone would still rather forget about the movie and spin-off movies, of which we shall not speak their name.
See, okay, I liked the Daredevil Ben Affleck movie. I thought he did a good job, and especially if you watch the director's cut, it's much better than the theatrical cut. When you're talking about crossovers, like they specifically said that that's the whole point. Is like this is like Avengers for TV. They're gonna be the Defenders. So like they're gonna do like the series, and then I guess like each year they're gonna come together for like a Defenders event. So they'll absolutely be crossover between all of them. And you saw that they casted Jessica
Right.
Jones.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for that because I really like
They
Kristen
did. I
Ritter.
didn't see that.
It's the girl from the
Kristen
dark
Ritter.
haired
Okay.
girl, yeah, from
Yeah,
Don't Trust the
Kristen
D in
Ritter,
Apartment 23.
and she was also on
Okay.
Breaking
All
Bad.
right. I'll have to look that up then. Oh, didn't watch. Couldn't care less. But we'll definitely look that up now.
And then the other big story that popped out of me is they got the full Ant-Man trailer.
Oh yeah, yeah,
All right, it just kind of like immediately I'm like, oh, another origin story, just what we need.
yeah. And they
Which
said they were going to stop that. Like Doctor Strange is supposed to be not an origin story. Like they were done doing origin stories.
yeah, well, we're getting at least one more for this one. Um, well, yeah, it looked fine.
Yeah,
I
I gotta tell you, I'm not terribly excited for this one. I mean, like I'll go see it, and like it's I'm not like watching it and thinking absolutely not, but it doesn't have the same excitement for me as say like the trailer for the first Iron Man movie had for me. It's I like the fact that they're at least acknowledging the fact that Ant Man is a ridiculous name. You know, where he says, "Is it too late to change the name?" And I'm saying it's never too late.
Mm-hmm.
Change that name. Change it. Come up with something better.
did you did you get a chance to watch it, Sarah? Sarah might have cut out. Okay. So yeah. Anyways, that does it for the news, and then right now, we're kind of getting back into things, and we'll go over the rest of the TV episodes that aired for the week. But since it's January and we're getting back into it as a light week, the only other comic show that aired was Gotham. This show still has not fully captured me. This episode was all right. Paul, did you got to get a chance to watch it?
Yeah, this is the one with Arkham Asylum, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm with you. Like, Gotham, there's you can see the hints of brilliance, but they haven't quite figured out what they want to do. They haven't quite hit their stride yet. And for one thing, is Gordon is driving me insane because he is so completely ineffectual. And he's so completely goody-goody. Superman is supposed to be the Boy Scout of the DC universe. And, I really want, nobody has handled Gordon well since Frank Miller in Year One. I want that Gordon back. I want the Gordon who has a baseball bat in his car and beats the holy crap out of a ex-Green Beret. That's the Gordon I want. Because that's the Gordon that Gotham needs. And hopefully this Gordon will get his act together. And then this whole thing with Barbara, this idea that people can't just have a happy relationship. Why can't Barbara just be this awesome woman who's just backing him up? And why do they have to lie to each other and have secrets and stuff like that? That's just boring. Every couple on television does that already. How about two people who are in love and back each other up, period, end of story? How about her being basically his second police partner? He's got Bullock and he's got Barbara. That kind of thing. The way that they've got the situation now, and then with her being fooled by frickin' Ivy on the phone. I mean, even though Ivy kind of deepened her voice, whatever, as a grown woman, you should know what another grown woman sounds like. And you're going to get all mad because you ran off with your ex-girlfriend, and now you think that Gordon's got a girlfriend of his own. Spoilers, by the way. But if you're watching this, you should have already seen the episode. So just stuff like that just really made me grind my teeth.
Yeah, I agree. Sarah, did
Do you
you?
think this might potentially be setting it up for the inevitability of her either being fridged or leaving him?
Well, but how on earth are we going to get Barbara Jr. if she ends up in the fridge?
Well, I think
Barbara Gordon is not Jim Gordon's biological daughter.
Since when?
No, she's not. She's Gordon's
forever.
biological daughter. She's not Barbara Jr. though.
No, she's not. She was his. Oh, yeah, no, but she was his niece, and he. Yeah. Pretty sure.
Which Earth was this on?
Okay, so you guys have been reading comics a lot longer than I have, and this is on live broadcast. So since I'm the only one who seems to think this, I'm just gonna hide under the table right now and check my sources and never.
Because people get retconned and they get their origins changed all the freaking time. Right. So this might have been a pre-crisis storyline that they tried out, or a post-crisis storyline, but pre-Flashpoint. Okay. So I mean,
I should not have even brought it up because I'm sure that even if it were not canon in the comics, they would definitely. It has been made so since the reboot, and they would make it so in the TV series. So I should not have even said anything. So let's please move on immediately.
So anyway, the point is, so we need Barbara Jr. in there somewhere, and so I'm thinking that they're not going to fridge her, or actually the thought that I had when they first introduced Barbara, I'm like, who the hell? Because I don't think his wife in the comics, if she even ever had a name, was Barbara, and so I was thinking oh, maybe this woman dies, and so he names his daughter after her, because it's something like that, some nonsense like that. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think that adult Barbara Gordon was ever Batgirl's mom. But yeah, I could be wrong. I don't know. That whole thing's been retconned and redone so many times. Who
Yeah,
knows?
I don't think
So
we ever
anyways,
know what. Yeah, I don't think we ever know what her mother's name was.
yeah, whatever. Anyways, Gotham. I think the rest of the shows, Arrow and Flash start up this week, I believe, and I think iZombie starts soon. So yeah.
Did y'all talk about the Flash, or did I miss that?
No, that wasn't on this week.
Did y'all talk about the Flash and I missed that, or did we just skip over that one? Oh, right. Okay, never mind. I thought we were reviewing just shows that premiered in 2014, period. I'm sorry, my internet's really glitchy, and I missed a couple things when we started the conversation on this.
No, we'll be doing weekly, just kind of briefly what we thought of them, unless you pick it as your, story of the week or whatever. So
Of course.
That does it for TV and news. I wanted to briefly, just kind of go over some of the 2014 comic stuff. Everybody and their mother has done best of lists and everything, but still wanted to get our picks. So, what was your best series of 2014? Paul, what did you think yours was?
All right, so before the show started, we were going over this, and Justin helped me realize that so many of the series that I love so much actually started in 2013. 2013 was an incredible year for comics. 2014, just because it's just apparently like all the ones that I love the most all started in 2013, which makes me wonder like what happened in 2014. But we did have a couple good ones. And the standout is Ed Brubaker's latest, The Fade Out, which is just incredible. If you enjoy noir and if you enjoyed Brubaker's other work, then you're absolutely going to love this comic. So that's my standout 2014 series.
Okay, and what about an existing series, best of?
Batman. I'm a huge Batman fan. That's it. Plus, was it Snyder has just done such an incredible job with the New 52 reboot with Batman, starting with the whole Court of Owls thing. Although I could have done without Zero Year, but that's not really his fault. I just, we've talked about that all through 2014, where DC can't get its chronology straight. It's like, can we just get back to the present? So that was driving us. But Scott Snyder on Batman has been ridiculous.
All right, what about you, Sarah? Best series for 2014, and if you don't have a new series, but also an ongoing existing series. She might be out right now, so I'll just do mine.
Gentlemen, by the skin of my teeth, I have them both. Yes. Oh,
there we go.
Hey, wait, stop.
Go.
Sorry, is there a lag?
Yeah. No, it's fine now, so go.
Okay, sorry. So evidently it's not. There's about a 4-second lag. But sorry. Like Paul, I was kind of like scrambling around trying to find the best new series, in my opinion, of 2014, and everyone I looked at was 2013. So regardless, one of them happened to be my favorite series of 2014, definitely Rat Queens, because that was one of the few comics in my inbox that I was definitely always excited to see, because I guess it's irresponsible. I don't follow which comics I'm getting each week too closely unless they're directly Communicast related. So every time I'm surprised to see Rat Queens in my inbox, it just makes my day because it's been so consistently funny and amazing. And I can't wait to see the direction the new artist is going to help the series go. And it's been just such a crowd pleaser across the board. I'm so glad it's getting a TV series. It couldn't have happened to a funnier comic. And barely barely premiering in 2014, January 1st, 2014. My favorite new series of that year would definitely be the Harley Quinn ongoing. Amanda Palmer and Jimmy Palmiotti, or Jimmy, is it Palmiotti? Yeah, it's Palmiotti.
Yeah,
Amanda
that's
Connor and, sorry, I'm getting her confused with the Dresden Dolls lady. Amanda Connor and Jimmy Palmiotti have been killing it on that series, and the side characters are excellent. The art is, they've changed artists a couple times, but it's consistently been good quality. They've brought some legitimacy back to the extremely she really deserves, and I also let 2014 be known as the year that Harley Quinn was incredibly queer in every direction, but especially because they feel the need to link her to the Joker romantically forever. So maybe 2015 will be the year that she finally gets to date somebody else.
All right, good picks. Yeah, Rat Queens is amazing and continues to be amazing. So my pick for over like existing series, as much as I actually thought about it a lot, and it just had to be Batman. I actually loved Zero Year. I mean, and along with that, at the end of the year, we got the start of Endgame, which is looking like it's going to be one of the coolest Batman stories told so far in the New 52. Um, it's just every month, it's definitely at the top of my read pile, and I will, even if I'm too busy to read other comics, I will make time to read Batman. It's been that good. And for best new series, I have to go with the Multiversity, and this is Grant Morrison's a, a series of one-off comics that are loosely connected and will supposedly all join together for a big epic conclusion. Um, I don't even completely get it because it's Grant Morrison and he's got so much going on in each of these issues, but it's still just a lot of fun. And it's also fun to reread them. So far, we only have like 3 or 4 issues, but they've all been amazing. And it also has one of my favorite issues of the year, which is the Watchmen tribute. I forget, it's like Pax Americana is what it's called. Um, just an amazing comic that plays with uh, time and storytelling, and also probably like just is a great homage to Watchmen, and it is an amazing comic that can be read on its own as well, and everybody should read it. Did you guys have any standout single issues?
I can't think of a particular single issue.
Well,
Yeah.
I guess I'll start talking.
Yeah.
I don't have any. Okay. No, I'm a little fuzzy on that myself. I was going to say the issue of Rat Queens where they actually do defend the town from a small troop of orcs, because the writing on that was just like dynamite in every direction. Of course, it came out at the very end of 2013. So no, I don't think I had anything that stood out either.
Okay. Cool. Any
Yeah,
other?
that's not to say that there weren't like excellent comics. It's just I don't know. I think in some ways that's a good thing, because unlike Marvel and DC, where you basically get a lot of this filler, and then you get like these it's like the music industry, where you get an album with like 2 singles on it, and all they're really trying to push is those singles. So you're reading all these like month to month, this stuff that's just like barely skimming along, so that you can get to like this really big amazing thing, or this big amazing crossover or whatnot. Whereas the independent comics nowadays are just nailing it like every single month. So I mean, like, how do you pick out like just the standout issue of something like Velvet or Revival or Lazarus? Like, all of those issues are excellent. The whole comic is excellent.
Yeah, some of the other
As someone who
standouts.
just started reading Saga this year, sorry,
Yeah,
lag
no,
again. As someone who just started reading Saga this year, every issue has been fantastic, and I couldn't pick a favorite one out of that. So that's definitely a close second for me for best series.
agreed. Yeah, basically any issue of Saga. Um, Velvet #1, I feel like was. Oh no, that might have been 2013 too, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Saga had some good ones.
Dang it,
Um,
2013.
yeah. Yeah. So that was our. Oh, anything else like you know
You cut out there a lot, Justin. So if you ask something, you're gonna have to repeat it.
Yeah, you literally sounded like someone jumping on a keyboard, like a piano keyboard.
What is going on with Google Hangouts?
Did did Justin get kicked off?
He's just
Ah,
I know.
frozen. There we go.
All right, can you hear me now?
yes.
Okay. So any like biggest surprises or disappointments in 2014 for comics?
For comics.
Disappointment. I would say. Let's see. Red Hood and the Outlaws. I had to drop that. That started out really, really good. Um, a couple comics that I picked up, I gave a shot to. I can't even really think of them off. Like Screwed, I think is one of them. Like, and they just were not all that great. But those were few and far between. Um, but yeah, I'd say, and yeah, yeah. There's a few comics that I had to drop because the quality just went down.
What about you, Sarah?
Well, I don't know. There were several issues that started up this year that were not quite as groundbreaking or exciting or compelling as I'd hoped they'd be. But overall, comics disappointment for 2014. Um, I think I only have two words for that, and those words are Dazzler's hair. So I'm gonna try to come to terms with that emotionally in the coming year.
All right. Well, so I got a couple. I know disappointments. Basically, any event. There were no like good comic events that I read. Like all, they were either really bad or okay. Um, but I also had two pretty big surprises. I started reading Walking Dead this year after only reading like the first couple volumes, and then I just started picking up the issues after their all-out war thing ended, and it is really good. Even if you haven't read um, any of the backstory, because they kind of time jumped, have a new status quo, and uh, just extremely creepy. Um, and apparently the bad guy or bad guys that they're dealing with in the comics are going to come into the TV show fairly soon. So that'll be interesting to see. I don't want to tell what they are because it should be pretty cool looking on TV when they do it. And the second one is Batman Eternal. I fully expected it to just be whatever, another Batman book, but it has consistently been pretty great. And I think the story that they're telling is worthy of the weekly comic, and I'm really glad that it has been this good.
I agree that the writing has been really good. The art has been very hit or miss. Depends on who's
Yeah.
drawing it that week, but the writing has been good.
All right. So I think that about does it for our first show back. We made it through. If anybody has any comments, let us know, or any suggestions for segments or whatever. Still a work in progress right now as we transition to the new format. So you can find links to all our episodes on cbcpodcast.tumblr.com. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/comicbookcommunicast. Our audio version is on iTunes and RSS, so you can subscribe and rate us there as well. And thanks for watching, listening, and have a good night.
And Happy New Year, everyone.
Oh, yeah. Happy New Year. That's right. Happy 2015.
Times 3.
All right. Good night.